everywhere. The world had become one vast gibber. The sky was banked with massive, moisture-laden clouds. Thunder rolled down from the hills, and the river seemed to take it up with a hollow, booming voice. Pig was floating down with the current. Sita could make out the bulky object, a drowned buffalo being carried rapidly upstream. The water had already inundated the villages further upstream. How long would it take for the river to reach her own small hut? She climbed up from the tree. It began to rain more heavily. She ran into shooing the hens before her, flew into the hut and huddled under her mother's cot. Sita thought it would be best to keep together now. Having them with her took us away some of the loneliness. Like to close the door and shut out the swish of the rain, but then she would have no knowing how fast the water rose. Took Mumta in her eyes and began praying for the rain to stop and the river to fall. She prayed to the God and just in case he was busy elsewhere, went to the other gods too. She would have made herself a meal. So she chopped up some onions, fried them and added turmeric and red chili powder, stirred until everything sizzling, and then she added a tumbler of water, some salt, and a cup of some of the cheaper lentils. She covered the pot and allowed the mixture to simmer. Doing this took Sita about 10 minutes. It would take at least a half an hour for the dish to be ready. She looked outside. She saw pools of water amongst the rocks and near the tree. She couldn't tell if it was rain or the overflow of the river. She had an idea. Big tin trunk stood in the corner of the room. It had belonged to Sita's mother. She would stuff the trunk with everything useful or valuable and weigh it down so that it would be carried away, just in case the river came over the island. The hookah went in the trunk. The grandmother's walking stick went in too. She also added a small number of small tins containing the spices used in cooking, a bigger tin of flour and a tin of raw sugar. Clean white cotton shirt of grandfather's and grandmother's only spare sari went into the trunk. It was so packing that she paid no attention to the lick of cold water at her heels. She locked the trunk and placed the key high on the rock wall and then turned to give her attention lentils. It was only then that she discovered that she was walking on a watery ford. She stood there still, horrified by what she saw. The water was oozing over the threshold, pushing its way into the room. Sita was filled with panic. Darting out of the hut, she ran, splashing through ankle-deep water towards the safety of the people tree. And been there, she would have floundered in deep water into the river. She climbed swiftly on the strong branches of the tree, herself secure, and the familiar branches thrust wet hair from her eyes. Hut was now surrounded by water. The hens hadn't bothered to leave the hut. They were probably perched on the cotton. Would the river lie still here? Sita had never seen it like this before. It swirled around her, stretching in all directions. More drowned cattle came floating down. The solution things went on the water. An aluminium kettle, a cage chair, a tin of tooth powder, a wooden slipper, a plastic doll. A doll with a sinking feeling. Sita remembered Mumta. Poor Mumta. She had been left behind in the hut. The waters were high now, then fast disappearing. Something came floating out of the hut. It was an empty kerosene with one of the heads perched on top. Later, must have reached the pot because the remaining heads, the rock ledge, and sat huddled there in the small recess. The water was now rising rapidly, and all the the island was the big rock supporting the tree. The top of the hut itself and the people tree. It was a tall tree with many branches that seemed unlikely the water could overgrow right over it. How long did Sita have to remain there? She climbed a little higher, so she did. A jet black jungle crow settled in the branches, and Sita saw there was a crow's nest. The rest was four blue speckled eggs. The crow sat in them cawing disconsolately. But though the crow was miserable, its presence brought some cheer to that at least she was not alone. Other things came flitting out of the hut. A large pumpkin, a red turban belonging to grandfather, pointing into the water like a long snake, and then Mupta. All had been filled with straw and wooden shavings, quite swiftly on the river water and passed close to the people tree. They saw it and wanted to call out words to a friend to make for the tree. She knew that Mupta could not sleep. The doll could only float, travel with the river. She shook in the wind and rain. The crow cawed and flew up, circled the tree a few times, and returned to the nest. Sita clung on her branch. The tree trembled through its tall frame. Throughout its tall frame, the river swirled around her now. It was almost up to the roof of the hut, so the mud walls would crumble except for the big rock and some trees far away. There was only water to be seen. For a moment or two, Sita glimpsed a boat with several people in it, moving sluggishly away from the ruins of a flooded village, and she thought she saw someone pointing towards her. But the river swept them on, and the boat was lost from view. The river was very angry, it was like a wild beast. The tall old people tree groaned. Its long, winding roots clung tenaciously to the earth from which the tree had sprung many, many years ago, but the earth was softening. The stones were being washed away, so the tree were rapidly losing their hold. The crow kept flying and circling. The tree reluctant to settle in it and reluctant to fly away. Thus wet her chest clung to her body, thin body. The rain ran down from her long hair. It poured from every leaf of the tree. The crow too was drenched and groggy. She groaned and moved again. With a flurry of its beautiful leaves and the surge of the below, the tree left its place in the tilting, moving forward, turning a little from side to side, dragging its roots along from the ground. The tree moved into the main current of the river and went a little faster, swinging Sita from side to side. Her feet were in water, but she clung to her branch. The branches swayed, but Sita did not lose her grip. The was very close now. Sita was frightened. The crow kept flying around the tree. The bird was in terrible rage. The nest was still in the branches, but not for long. The tree lurched and twisted slightly to one side. The dust fell into the water. Sita saw the eggs go one by one, swooped low over the water, but there was nothing it could do. In a few moments, the nest had disappeared. Moo followed the tree about 50 yards. The bird and flapping its wings, it rose high into the air and flew across the river till it was out of sight. Sita was alone once more. There was no time for feeling lonely. Everything was in motion. In a moment, thought Sita, the tree will turn right over and I'll be in water. Distant, she saw flooded village and flooded people on flat-bottomed grass boats, but they were very far away. And because of its great size, the tree did not move very swiftly on the river. At one place there was a bend in the river. The tree was stuck on the sandbank and was still. Sita felt very tired. Her arms were aching and she was no longer upright. With the tree side, she had to cling to the branch to avoid falling off. She could remain no longer in position. She heard someone calling. Craning her neck to look up river, she saw a small boat coming directly towards her. Boat approached the tree. Was the boat, who held on to one of the branches to steady himself, giving his free hand to Sita, grasped it and slipped into the boat beside him. The boy placed his bare feet against the tree trunk and pushed it away. The little boat moved swiftly down the river. The tree was left far behind. Sita would never see it again. She lay stretched out in the boat, too frightened to talk. The boy looked at her, but he did not say anything. He did not even smile. Lay on his two swallows, stroking intimately, trying to keep from going into the middle of the river. He wasn't strong enough to keep the boat right out of the swift current, but he was trying. The boat on the big river. The boat moved swiftly from the waters as Sita's home was left far behind. He was a slim boy. He had high cheekbones, strong white teeth. A sheath knife was knotted to his waistband. He was a little darker than Sita. You live on the island, he said at last, resting on his oars and allowing the boat to drift a little. But he had reached a broader, more placid stretch of the river. I have seen you sometimes, but where are the others? My grandmother was sick, and said Sita, so grandfather took her to the hospital in Shahganj. When did they leave? Early this morning. Where have you come from? She never seen the boy before. I come from, he hesitated, near the foothills. I was in my boat trying to get across the river with the news that one of the villages was badly flooded, but the current was too strong. I was swept down here past island and we cannot find the river. We must go wherever it takes us. Must be tired. Give me the oars. No, there is not much to do except keep the boat steady. He brought in one oar with his hand felt under the seat where there was a small basket. He produced 2 mangoes and gave it to Sita. They bit deep into the ripe, fleshy mangoes, using their teeth to tear away the skin. The flavor of the fruit was heavenly. Sita hadn't tasted a mango for over a year. She forgot about the fur. And all that mattered was the mango. The boat drifted, but not so swiftly now, for as they went further across the plains, they lost much of its tremendous force. My name is Krishan, said the boy. My father has many cows and buffaloes, but several have been lost in the flood. I suppose you go to school, said Sita. Yes, I am supposed to go to school. There is one not far away from a village. Do you have to go to school? No, there is too much work at home. river was almost at the full, and Sita could see across the river. And thank you. That is for today. And part 2 will be coming soon. Bye for now.